in building and housing for
Right.
grass cutting one year.
Yes,
We took
yeah.
pictures and stuff for us to document.
It was done in 2011 and it was done in 2012. And so we're trying to revitalize it, even though our total assessments were over $300,000, but we collected $10,000 of it. But we're hoping to be more successful this time. Say if some of the banks can reimburse us different assessments like Wells Fargo or Deutsche Bank or U.S. Bank or Citibank, if they own the properties, then those assessments will accrue as to them
Right.
if we have to demolish their properties.
Now, if you can clarify, as far as I understand the grass cutting, but as
Yes.
far as the lights, you're
The
talking
street
about the
lighting.
actual street lighting.
Yeah, HUD will reimburse for the street lights, so we don't get anything from the individual property owners except for one area. And this one area in East Cleveland where the percentage of persons below the poverty level is 14%. So that area has to pay
And then as
for
far as
street lighting.
demo,
Everybody else.
so demoing properties that, can you clarify, I just clarify that, why the cost would be assessed? How does that, that the city has to come in and demo a property because of a nuisance, you mean?
Yes, so the
Okay.
cost for demolishing that property then would go on the individual parcel number owner's taxes due. That's a special assessment. It's against their property taxes. Say for 6 months, their property taxes might be $800. And then it costs, say for grass cutting, they let the grass grow too high. So over the summer, we spent maybe $80 in cutting their particular lawn, so it would be $880 that their property taxes would be. That would be a special assessment pursuant to grass cutting. But like the people who are below the poverty line, the areas of the city that are below the property line, if their homes are, have street lights, then we can't assess those properties because that area is determined to have persons who are substantially below the poverty level. So it's too high a percentage for us to assess that area.
So my question around that would be, how come you couldn't assess them if the owner didn't live there? Now, if it's owner occupied, then that's fair. You can't assess them. But if it's a unit that's occupied, somebody's getting rent, but just because it falls in that
Area, the street
area.
lighting is just all paid for by the government.
I mean, the
Can't
assessment.
assess them. Yeah, it's just, that's just a rule. They can give you more details in building and housing.
So who's specifically assessed it, like as far as the street lights are concerned? That's what my question is, like what, because there's street lights.
Jack's office sends in the Excel spreadsheet to the county, and then they apply the assessment to that particular property if it's eligible for being assessed.
Okay, so his office would know the
Yes.
criteria as
Oh,
far
yeah.
as how
Oh,
they
yeah.
determine who gets the assessment. Okay.
Right.
I want to follow up in my finance meeting.
Oh,
Can I say something?
mhm.
As I talked to Jack, he mentioned something else about the boarding up of the homes.
Yeah, board up.
So any homes that are, in line to be boarded up, then they'll be on the list for next year. So I think Solange is collecting a list right now. So
I think we should get that sooner than later.
With their deadlines that the county has, and so, yeah, it's in July because the deadline is September. It has to be into the county office so that when they send you your bill in January, then it's on your bill. Your property tax.
Okay,
bill.
super.
So we'll be definitely working on it.
Okay.
Okay.
So let me ask you this, if I can. It says here that pursuant to chapter 1313 of the East Cleveland Codified Ordinance. So this has been on the books,
Yes,
and we've been collecting money for board ups or banks, the old property, the property been sitting there, and grass, we cut the grass and all like that, we've been collecting money. Is that,
well, of
Is
the
this a new-
$300,000 that was assessed in
Mhm.
2011, or I think it was either 2011 or 12, the last time there was an assessment of that $300,000, the city collected $10,000. Because most of the board ups, most of the demolished properties the owners couldn't be located. And so they owe, along with the county property taxes that they owe us too, because that's listed as a special assessment on their bill. But it's just they're uncollectible or unavailable. So we only collected $10,000 of it.
oh, but to 300, then this resolution 5416 is in, what does it, is it in addition to the ordinance 13?
No,
Explain.
no, it's just a resolution, because before we can send it down to the county, we have to have a resolution authorizing us to send it down to the county.
So this gives it a chance to get some revenue, right?
Yes, and we hope that we'll be more successful in collections next time, but every little bit helps.
So we could have done this, we could have been more aggressive years ago. Yeah, aggressive, proactive years ago with this. Something like
Well,
this.
I don't know, I wasn't aware.
Well, no, people are asking all the time, if the banks own property and all like that, why come we not forcing the banks to cut the grass, board up the properties, etc.? I've been hearing that for years.
When I was over building
Okay.
housing, we were very aggressive.
And we just collected $10,000 out of $300,000.
We weren't doing anything prior to that.
Oh, wow.
So,
Oh, Jack?
Yeah.
take over.
Can you come?
I'm in charge now. All right. So that's good. So with this one, you had some more on this, Councilman?
No, I just wondered if we had that option and we got $300,000, and what's going to be different if we say we can't locate these property owners? What's going to be different now?
Well, every little bit helps. So now we're scraping the bottom of the pot in terms of trying to find money.
So I appreciate this, and if I can piggyback on Councilman Martin's, what happens to that IOU that's out there? So say we cut the grass, we board up, we tear down, put all that on there, and then what happens? They don't pay it.
Yeah, the property taxes don't
Just
go away.
Okay.
They just, they don't go away.
Doesn't get wiped until they do the tax lien sales.
I imagine. So then, I don't know if the new owner, say in foreclosures or something, I don't think that's put on there.
We could do something to say that that's separate at that point. It's separate from